Hello there, this is Chris and Åsa from one of the newest Rexy pods, Kingdom Swedish Rulers.
We're the Brit and the Swede that's judging and ranking all of the Swedish kings, queens and regents, from Olof Skötkonung to Carl XVI Gustav.
We run through our categories like Stormakt, investigating how good at battle or political plotting our rulers were, or Swedish Sin, where we look into the more outrageous side of Swedish royal life before seeing if our rulers are worthy of being awarded the 3 crowns, that famous symbol of Sweden.
Or if they should be mushed into a meatball. We do all this every other Sunday wherever you find your podcasts, in the weeks between releases of our other podcast, A Flat Pack History of Sweden, where we chronologically look at the broader narrative of Swedish history.
We'd love to have you with us on our journey, seeing as you already have excellent taste in podcasts.
Indeed you do, so we'll see you there. Vi ses!
Hello, and welcome to So You Think You Can Rule Persia, the podcast where we rate and review all the rulers of Persia, from Diocles to Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. I am Sariel, and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Umberto, my pronouns are he, him. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 100.
We
Sulayman
made it!
ibn Abd al-Malik.
Ooh! Hooray!
Yes, we have finally made it after 100 episodes. Not even 100 episodes, 100 people.
100 people,
we've just
yeah.
slowly cycled through, some of which had multiple episodes. We had extra episodes. There was a bunch of stuff going on.
Wait, how did we number those? Like, for example, with Alexander, did we have an A and B? Or was it like
there was
episode
a point
17?
one, I think it was 18.1 and 18.2.
Okay, so it is 100
with
people.
those.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So it is 100 people. That's how we've numbered everything. So, I mean, we are only 8 episodes into the new series, but still,
Exciting.
It counts as an achievement.
Yes.
We can be happy about
Of
this.
course. Drink something nice in our honor.
And it's been about 1,400 years since Diocles once started.
So
And we have 1,200 years more, Ariel.
So about 14 years per episode?
Yeah, basically.
Damn.
Close enough.
If only it had been that regular.
Yeah, if only it had been that precise and well set up. No. But apparently, I did some quick maths, and it looks like the second series is going to have shorter reigns on average. It's going to be like 11 years, point something per ruler, while the previous series had about 14 years per ruler.
Yeah, okay.
So this prefaces the fact that there will be issues, and we're going to go, according to the current list I have, which can be adjusted, there's at least 200-ish rulers. I think it's around 210 thereabouts, but I'm always finding out new people and being like, oh no, actually they should probably have an episode, shouldn't they? All right, fine.
I see. Well.
So there we are. Yes, I recently just added 7 little guys.
Yeah, I live for the calm periods. I live for the successful golden ages where people are happy, but we have so few of those.
Also, I think the problem with our format is that if we have a wonderful golden age where everything works well for 60 years,
it's just
that's
not
one
good.
episode,
Yeah.
Which is just as much as there's a succession crisis in 5 years, you have 10 rulers, or we're staying forever in that succession crisis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess this is the opposite of what most regular history does. We're just saying, nope, everybody, no matter how important you are, you get 1 episode, you get 2 if you're lucky. There you go.
Well, let's get started then.
But yes, Sarah, so we were in a golden age of these last time. Do you remember much about al-Walid that we had last time? Al-Walid the First, in fact.
I remember that he was controversial, but he did a great job at consolidating and expanding and actually doing pretty well. Like, his father had started the golden age, and he just kept it going and even further expanded, which is very impressive.
Yeah, it was a nice chill
Very
time.
cool.
Al-Walid was one of the sons of Abd al-Malik, the not really the founder of this branch of the Umayyad Caliphate, but close enough. And yeah, al-Walid simply ruled over an empire that was stable and orderly, and he spread out towards China in the east, in India, and in the west he founded Al-Andalus by accident, and was just using wealth to improve the lives of his subjects, and was just doing a great job, and everybody was pretty happy, and it was fine. So, yeah. And then, well, he was trying, it seems, to pass the caliphate on to his sons, but due to his father's will, he passed it over to Sulayman, who is today's subject. So Sulayman ibn Abd al-Malik is another son of Abd al-Malik, as the name suggests. And we're not doing a direct down-the-line succession, we're just moving on to brothers, which is broadly what Abd al-Malik had thought was a good idea, because that way you avoid underage heirs, you avoid people getting jealous because they know they'll have a turn, so it's, it's sort of more stable, sort of more organized. But yeah, so I'd say let's start with his life and see how he does, see what he did before being caliph and what he did with the power once he finally got it. Sulayman was born in 675 in Medina, and he was the son of Abd al-Malik, but this was back during the reign of Muawiyah, so a lot like his brother al-Walid, he probably didn't grow up expecting to become caliph because he was, the second cousin of the caliph. I mean, yeah, maybe you might become a bit important, but you're not going to get the top job, are you? Unless there's a massive civil war.
Yeah.
But there was a massive civil war.
Yeah, surprise!
Fitna blows up. Woo! And it takes away the caliphate from the Sufyanid branch of the Umayyad family, and it brings it over to the Marwanid branch of the Umayyad family. At last, Sulayman is now the second son of the caliph, so that's a pretty good position to be in general. We don't really know much about Sulayman's life in his formative years, because he probably moved to Syria during the civil war, like most other Umayyads, we can assume. But then we know that during his father's caliphate, he led the Hajj in 701. So he's being given positions of responsibility, and this was probably in connection with him being nominated as secondary heir to the caliph, because, well, it's important that he picks up some of the religious legitimacy of being caliph so he can actually take that role and not be questioned about it. But then we come to the reign of his brother al-Walid, and as we saw, there was some friction there. So originally, Sulayman was appointed as the governor of Palestine, where he worked on building up the new city of Ramla, which is between Jerusalem and the coast. It was essentially this new, fully Arabic city being built in Palestine. And this was indicated as the provincial capital over the older Roman city of Jerusalem. And it's while he's working in Palestine that Sulayman came into contact with the Yamani faction and with a holy man called Raja ibn Haywa, who had managed the construction of the Dome of the Rock and was keenly interested in the moral conduct of caliphs. Not only that, but he was also an ardent opponent of al-Hajjaj and his policies. You remember al-Hajjaj is the eastern viceroy of Abd al-Malik and al-Walid later himself. So he's coming into this company that is mainly on the Yemeni side of this faction. And we'll remember we mentioned last time that these are opposed to the Qaisi Arabs that are more in the camp of al-Walid, the current caliph. And the main policy difference that you can see between them is that the Qaisi Arabs, siding with the caliph, are basically happy to expand forever because the glory of the caliphate demands it. We need to do this. Yeah, we accidentally conquered Iberia, but what are you gonna
accidentally.
do? I guess we should keep it. It's fine.
It just kept going.
Yeah. Well, the Yemeni Arabs, which are supporting Sulayman, they're saying, why did we just conquer a peninsula? Why? What's in Iberia that we want? Why did we go here? We should just go home. We don't need this. We should just consolidate what we have and be happy with the Golden Age. But Sulayman was part of this Yemeni faction, so he is part of the people saying, hey, maybe we should chill out with the infinite expansion
With the
We don't
infinite
need this,
expansion.
and probably
Hey
can't
guys,
handle
maybe
it.
stop. Things are going well, but like they're going a bit too well, and that's also concerning. So like maybe
Maybe we should chill out.
maybe don't.
And well, this means that Sulayman came into conflict with his brother, the Caliph. There were some disagreements, and he granted asylum to some people who had become enemies of al-Hajjaj. So he's not hosting enemies of the Caliph, but he's hosting enemies of the friend of the Caliph. So it's not treason, but it's not treason.
It's in that thin line between treason and not treason, where it's both,
Yeah,
I
it's like,
guess.
Yeah. The sources don't really give us much information on why they were disagreeing. Like, they don't tell us they had a personal beef with each other, but it was probably just a disagreement in how should we run the caliphate? How should we run this largest empire the world has ever seen? This hasn't happened before. What are we doing?
This guy is the son of our previous guy.
This guy's the brother of our previous
The
guy.
brother. Okay.
That's
Because
right. yes.
I forgot what was happening with the succession. Okay, you may continue
Yes,
now.
it's fine.
Sorry.
It basically goes Marwan, who's in our Patreon, al-Malik, and then his sons are al-Walid I, Sulayman, and then a few others that we'll meet in the future. But that aren't important right now.
Okay.
But fortunately for Sulayman, while al-Walid was trying to remove him, probably, from his position as heir, or at least convince him to surrender his position as heir, al-Walid died in February of 715, and Sulayman is now caliph. And apparently he remained very attached to Palestine, which was the place where he'd been for like a decade under his brother. And he moved the center of administration away from Damascus and towards the city of Ramla, which he had developed as a governor. So he's moving down in the center of Palestine. So government is coming from that area right now. And well, Sulayman decided that he shouldn't waste any time changing the policies of his brother. He should try and say, okay, well, we can't really keep doing this eternal expansion. We need to handle it. So he started initially by replacing several prominent governors to ensure their loyalty to him, and also reduce the power of long-lasting governors who had just been conquering new provinces for no reason. Because he's saying, well, if you double the size of your governorship without owing it to me, that's dangerous. You could just break away and say, oh, I conquered this, it's my kingdom now.
Yeah, essentially you could be like, well, who's going to stop me?
Yeah, exactly. Also, if these people have been governing for 15 years in a place, you can fear that they're becoming a bit too accustomed to their position.
To ruling.
So it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And also, all these people, or at least a large majority of these people, were Qaisi Arabs.
Mm-hmm.
So there were this tribal group that was more friendly to the previous administration. So he's going to get rid of these people and put people loyal to him and that know what the program is for him. In particular, he dismissed the Viceroy of Africa, who was also conquered Iberia.
Dismissed as in they were working together and now they're not working together? Or
Yeah, basically, this governor of Africa was governor under al-Walid.
Yeah.
And had been in charge of conquering Iberia.
Yeah.
But now that there's a new administration, he's just being called back to Damascus to answer for, why did you conquer a new country? Who asked you to do this?
Okay, because I thought you were going to say to answer for his crimes, and I'm like, the crime of expanding the empire? This doesn't usually go well. But yeah, more the crime of
It's
you
a
did
bit
a
of a
thing we didn't
crime.
ask you to do.
Yeah, it's sort of like how Caesar was called
Yeah.
to Rome to answer for war crimes in
Yeah.
Gaul. It was like, nobody asked you to invade this place. You just
Yeah.
went and did it.
And it was not on our plans, and like, yeah, it's not like bad, but also like, if you feel like you have enough power to just make that decision, then who's gonna stop you?
It's also the sort of understanding of, you didn't conquer this for the caliphate.
Yeah.
You conquered this for yourself.
Yeah, which is dangerous.
Because you saw you could gain more
I see.
power.
I
it's
see.
like,
So this is this guy.
Don't love it.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And well, he also dismissed the family of al-Hajjaj, who had been viceroys of the East. Now that al-Hajjaj is dead, well, his family was just leeching on it, getting their own power base in the East. So, okay, let's get rid of these people. They're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And he also got rid of al-Hajjaj's eastern viceroy, who had invaded Central Asia. You remember that this was one of the black marks on al-Walid, because this was the extremely religiously intolerant man who just went into Central Asia and just started conquering places and killing anybody who resisted.
Yeah.
So Sulayman is saying, let's not do that. That sounds like a bad plan. I don't like this.
Come back here. Enough. Time to reel you in again.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see that he's looking at the borders of the empire and saying, everybody who was in charge before, maybe come back and I'll appoint somebody new because this is dangerous.
Somebody that I trust more and that I can have control over from one point in the empire. This is going to be difficult because the empire is like the biggest it's been, right?
Yes.
So this is usually when things go terribly wrong. I'm very curious to see if we get to stabilize things or, I mean, we're trying. We're working on it.
And also he wants to appoint people that, yes, he trusts, but also that owe their place to him. Because if we say that, oh, well, my family's been governing here for the last 50 years, why should I listen to you? Well, if instead I have appointed you specifically for this position, well,
and you could lose everything.
You're going to owe me a lot more.
Yeah,
exactly.
I gave you everything, I can take it away.
But Serial, how do you think this goes down with the governors?
Well, I assume most of them are not super happy about it, because people tend to enjoy the power that they have, unless they're like extremely good people. Like that one general that we had before, where there was a conspiracy that he might be trying to take the throne because he was very powerful and beloved by the military, but he actually just was happy to help the Caliph. And the Caliph cracking down on him and being like, you were going to usurp me, was like, well, not the Caliph, our king at the time, because this was pre, you know. Do you remember who I'm talking about? There's no way I'm going to remember the name.
I think you're referring to Bahram Chobin.
Yeah.
Is that
extremely
the one
talented general? Yeah. The king was made to believe that he was dangerous because technically, like on paper, someone who is that good militarily and who like has the support of military could just orchestrate a coup. But actually, the general was fully on the king's side, and the king basically not trusting him and trying to kind of assassinate him, or at least like jail him, backfired into then him being like, okay, then I will go against you, because like what the
Yeah, fair. That always happens. That is a bad time.
So my point is, I'm getting there.
Yes. If
these governors were like all extremely dedicated to the empire and to the Caliph, then, they would be like, oh yeah, it makes sense that he's doing this. I'm a little bit offended that he wouldn't trust us, but also this makes sense and I will do whatever, But like, people rarely are that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have your own, and don't get me wrong, it's not that this makes them worse, it's just you have your own agenda. And if you have a good position, especially if you've been living in a place for a while and you're enjoying your life there, regardless of what it has to do with having more or less power, just having to uproot everything and go somewhere else, not the first thing people want to do. So
no, definitely not. So one of the governors that resisted the most was the viceroy of the East, Al-Hajjaj's viceroy, because he seems to have entirely rejected Sulayman as caliph. He said, nope, you're not the true caliph. You don't count. I'm actually supporting Al-Walid's son. Because, well, Al-Walid was making plans to make his son succeed, so, well, I don't recognize Sulayman as legitimate. But the son, who, parentheses, would be favorable to more expansion, is my candidate.
But this wasn't really a discussion, right?
It wasn't a discussion.
Like there wasn't really like a war about succession. Like this was established from the start pretty well.
He's
so
just
like
saying this because he can. And the thing is that his alternatives are go back to Damascus, or Ramla in this case, and explain to the Caliph why you've been forcing people to convert and murdering them and just invading places for no orders, or have your own puppet Caliph.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Refusing to do this because you're a horrible, horrible man makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, this was the plan. This is not good.
The consequences of my war crimes. No.
Yeah. And so he prepared his army to march to Syria to install Al-Walid's son as caliph. He got in front of all his soldiers And he praised all his achievements and what they had achieved together. They had managed to conquer all these lands in the steppe together. They had reached the border of China together. Who's with me? Let's go to Damascus and take the caliphate back.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that the army did not cheer. And they just stared at him.
Yeah.
And were like,
What the hell, man?
what do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean we're gonna commit treason now?
Yeah.
Listen, this is so funny that they would be
Yeah.
like, oh. He was expecting the army to back him, and everyone's like,
Actually,
Crickets.
no, that sounds like a bad idea.
No.
And this guy apparently just has sort of a breakdown, and at this point, seeing that nobody was supporting him, he starts insulting all his men and their tribes, calling them cowards and traitors and everything, and he's just, that did not end
that
well.
will surely work. He's taking the same
Yeah.
approach as like a quote unquote nice guy, being like, hey, do you want to go out with me? I like you so much. And then he gets rejected and is immediately like, well, I wasn't interested anyway. You're ugly. Bye.
Yeah, you're not even that hot anyway. Ugh.
Yeah. Same vibe.
Yep, exact same vibe. And since he's saying this to a bunch of armed men with weapons.
I was gonna say, you usually don't do this face to face with somebody who can stab you.
Yeah.
It's
They start
wild.
to threaten him, and he retreats to his house, hounded by a mob who set fire to his stables to avoid any escape. And then they surround his house, and they killed him and all of his family and crucified their bodies.
See, I'm sad about his family. Because it's not their fault
Really didn't
that
really
he's,
do-
you know, a jackass.
yeah.
But what did you expect?
That's fair.
Like-
Yeah, honestly, this man mishandled everything.
How badly can you do this?
Surely this was worse than just going to the caliph and explaining himself.
Yeah.
That was the other option.
Yeah, it did not go like this in his head, you know.
No, definitely not. But yeah, okay, so we're sort of slowing down expansion, but Sulayman isn't saying, no, let's not expand anymore. He's saying, no, there's some bits that we need to sort out. We need to make sure we have stable borders and everything is orderly.
I think it makes sense because the empire is getting very big and that is dangerous. Like we have established this many times before. So it makes sense that he's just calling everyone back and being like, stop, wait, hold. 1 minute, we need to know what we're doing. You can't just conquer everything and not do anything with it. We know how that ends. Don't do that, please.
Yes.
Let us reconvene. Let us think about this.
Yeah, but there's some bits he still needs to gather to get a safe border. So, for example, his new governor in the east worked on consolidating lands that had fallen under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a region of Tabaristan and Gorgan, which are essentially bits in the north of Iran that border the Caspian Sea. And they're very similar to Asturias
Mm-hmm.
because they're just like in the north protected by the sea and there's mountains on the south of them that block everything off. So they're very similar. And here there were a bunch of old Sassanid noble families that had made tiny independent kingdoms. And so he's like, we need to clear that bit of the map up. They've been staying here for too long.
Yeah, it makes sense that that would have survived because it is a very defendable position, right? Like it's just, it makes perfect sense. And so
Yeah, exactly.
now they're like, okay, time to tackle this. We've been leaving it in the to-do list for way too long. It has to
Yeah.
stop.
And so he manages to conquer this new area and mostly subjugate these regions. Although some areas deeper into the mountains still eluded the caliphates, but then it's not really a country, it's just random bandits who live there. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But well, Serial, in
Yeah.
Iberia, he also continued a similar policy because the original governor, before he was recalled, empowered some of his subordinates to take Leon and the Cantabrian Mountains.
Yeah?
Before the caliph could appoint someone new. He's like, no, I want to see this job finished. I'll go to the caliph and explain myself, but
Yeah.
you go conquer those bits, I'll be back.
I see.
I promise.
He just couldn't let it go.
Yeah, it was only after this that the governor appointed his son in his stead and went all the way to Damascus and was imprisoned for the crime of conquering a new country accidentally.
Accidentally, kinda, sorta, maybe.
Yeah. His son did not fare much better, as though he consolidated control over modern Portugal and Catalonia, he became too arrogant for his subjects and was eventually murdered.
Yeah.
But then, Serial,
Yeah.
we get to a story that you may have heard of in school.
Oh?
Because do the words Pelayo and Covadonga mean anything to
Well,
you?
of course. I mean, like, yeah, that's the one thing I remember if I have to remember any of them. Oh boy, things
Very
are
good.
about to go downhill for us, huh?
Honestly, less than you'd expect.
Yeah, I mean...
Frankly, it was mostly fine. For the next 50 years, it's not really an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, essentially, a Visigothic noble called Pelayo was about to be arrested by the Umayyad forces. So he fled into the northern mountains and led a resistance there.
Yeah.
And there, during Sulayman's reign in 717, the Arab army and the Visigoths met at a place called Covadonga, where the Visigoths won and kept an independent kingdom of Asturias on the northern coast of Iberia. According to some, marking the start of the Reconquista.
Yeah.
Now, as with a lot of national myths that are popularized during the Victorian period,
Yeah.
because nationalism is becoming a thing, and what does it mean that we're a country, and how do you define this, and what is us? What does this mean?
What is us and what is them? And how do we
Yeah,
differentiate?
exactly. Yeah. The importance of this has generally been exaggerated because in Christian sources, they mention 300 Christians against the horde of 100,000 Arabs coming down to destroy us all and end our way of life, which is mad because there may have been a few thousand Caliphate soldiers in Iberia at the time.
Like, think about it. We were not planning on conquering this. Why would we send 100,000 men to this random ass place?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't
We
make
don't
sense.
have
Like,
that kind of army. Like, if there's 100,000 in Iberia, what is the rest of the empire? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, Sarah, we do have 100,000 soldiers. We're going to be using them for different purposes.
yeah, no, like, not in
Is
Iberia.
not that important.
Yeah.
Yes. We have like a few tens of thousands in the whole area at most. You know, it's not the focus of the empire. We're actively trying to withdraw from it. And also, the Islamic sources do not mention this at all. They don't say, oh, we had this terrible defeat. It was really bad time. They're just like, nothing happened this year. It was fine. We just continued doing what we were doing last year and it was all right.
Trust me, the numbers are numbering. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Shh,
Yeah, exactly. This is just Herodotus logic. But anyway, the most likely thing is that Pelayo probably managed to defeat a small local garrison or a patrol that was going in the mountains trying to hunt down some Visigothic nobles. And this meant that Pelayo became the most authoritative warlord in the region because the Visigothic kingdom had collapsed and it was
Because
just
when the region is
small minor lords.
and there's no one left, then, you know, you can't just name yourself whatever.
Yeah, there may have been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minor lords hiding in the mountains and defending the forts they had. And, well, Pelayo managed to win a battle, so yeah, we should probably follow him. Good for him, you're king now.
Which, like, you know, not to downplay Pelayo's feat, because, like, of course, if you're, like, a small kingdom, everything is on fire, there's nothing left, like, you just lost most of the peninsula. Winning one battle is still, like, I get it. I get why this, you know, was such a breath of...
You know, it's impressive, and
Yeah.
it's enough that he can...
But from the point of view of the empire, it's like a little thing that happened somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's very... it's very much like Asterix and Obelix in the Roman Empire. It's like, we've conquered all of Gaul, but there's this one village. But, you know, I guess. So, similar thing with Pelayo and his Asturian friends. And also, they live in the mountains. It's difficult to go to the mountain. If your country is mostly mountains and then the sea, then I don't have an incentive to conquer you. You have an easy time ambushing me while I'm crossing here, so this is too much work for what it's worth.
Yep. Again, every time I think of people going to the UK or to, you know, the Isles and getting there and being like, why do we want to be here again? Everything sucks. It's wet, it's cold,
We
it's
should
hard
just
to
leave,
just,
please.
yeah. And the people that are from there being like, yeah, this is our land. This is what we do. And it's just like, I mean, I guess, guys, it's miserable here. I don't know. We're just going to leave.
Yes, exactly.
You can have
That
it.
is the Roman opinion of just like,
Yeah.
we'll just leave, I suppose.
I'm
This is
sorry. I'm
fine.
sorry, people from the islands. I'm sorry.
Yes,
You
I'm
know.
sorry you have to live there.
Don't you leave there? Bro.
I know. But hey. But anyway, this doesn't mean that we don't have 100,000 soldiers to use.
Right.
Because Sulayman has one more plan. What do you think he wants to conquer? What is a good place that we're missing and that would be a nice trophy to just cap out our conquests and then end it there? We're done. We finished it.
Okay, let me go through our usual suspects. Because right now, I do
Yes.
not have a good picture of what the Empire looks like. Because it's changed a bunch in the last,
It has, yes.
What happened in Egypt?
Egypt is still ours. Egypt is
We
now
did get
pacified.
Egypt.
It's a part of the caliphate.
I sure hope we have Armenia. Otherwise, I will burn something.
We do have Armenia. It's nice and
It's
stable.
been a
We've
while.
kept
Because
it.
by now, it's like in the middle of our empire, right?
It's not exactly. It's still a border region, but it is firmly in our control.
Okay. See, this is what I mean. I don't have like the borders in my
Fair.
brain. And we're taking care of these like Sassanid
Yeah, these former Sassanid nobles that are just
nobles. So
and
that's
broken
good.
off during the original conquest, so they're.
So I
down.
guess towards the east.
Towards the east, we've decided there's Tang, China.
Yeah.
That's pretty big and scary.
Yeah. We don't want to piss them off.
It's mostly they're just really far away. It sounds like a pain.
No,
Like,
but like
There's the Himalayas in the middle.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
steppe. It's a whole thing. It's like, we could try, but...
we still have part of the Silk Road, right? Like that goes through
Oh, yeah.
where we
have a
are,
bunch of
so
that.
I guess that's as good as
Yeah, we basically have a border with China. It's just that
Damn.
the bit in the middle is quite difficult.
You're free to go
traverse.
claim it if you want, but like good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So where are we going?
Well, there's one last
north
traditional
is-
rival that you've missed.
Is it Rome?
Yes,
That's
it's
so
Rome,
funny.
Sarah.
Can you believe they're so not in my radar anymore?
The Romans.
That I was like, oh, the Romans are still
Exactly.
there? I don't know. Where are they?
Well, the Romans are a shadow of their former self. They have Anatolia, Constantinople, and some bits of Greece, and some bits of Italy.
Okay, but there's
Have
still
Sicily
like
and some other
Western
islands.
Roman Empire is still a thing. Just
I
barely?
mean, the Western Roman Empire is gone.
Oh,
It's
okay.
finished. It's just that we still have the
Okay,
remains
okay.
of Justinian's reconquest.
Yeah,
so
okay,
they
okay.
still own Rome and Ravenna and Sicily and Sardinia and a few islands scattered around.
Just so
but
they
it
feel
is
good
just
about
a shadow
themselves.
of what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, exactly.
So we're just gonna crush
So Suleiman has decided, no, that's it. They don't deserve to exist anymore. We are taking 100,000 soldiers to conquer Constantinople and finish the Roman Empire. That's it. We can just take it all. It'll be done. Yes, we've been using them for target practice for the last 100 years, but it's sad. Let's just finish them all.
All right.
This has the advantage of ensuring that the Umayyad core of Syria would finally be distant from potential attacks, because Syria is the heart of the empire, but it is still bordering Roman territory. So they're not going to invade us. They haven't done that. They don't have the strength to do it, but it's a possibility, so let's just cut down on that. We don't want to do this anymore. So, unlike Muawiyah's siege of Constantinople about 50 years earlier, this one was explicitly planned to take the Roman capital. So Muawiyah's siege, it was unclear
Yeah.
if it was like a real siege or just a blockade.
Hmm.
Nobody's really sure if it counts as the first siege of Constantinople.
But
But
now
this
we're
one
like,
is
actually,
planned on
let's
purpose.
do it because this geographical situation right here is not nice.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's like we're not in danger now, but if we let them keep it, and in like 50 years they randomly have more power, then it's right there. It shouldn't be bordering us.
Yeah, exactly. And they took advantage of a moment of weakness on our side during the second fitna. They invaded.
Yeah. So they
captured
clearly,
Antioch.
like, if they
So-
could, they would.
Yeah, so
So-
if we show them our belly, they will tear it out. So let's just make sure that we take care of them. And so this time, Suleiman gathers a grand expedition. He gathers 100,000 soldiers according to Muslim sources, and 3 times as many according to the Romans, and decides, that's it, Constantinople is gone. We will take it.
I like that the Roman sources make us look even more badass than our own sources.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
Do we win?
The Iberian sources make us look even more badass.
Yeah, but like they won, so they would want to, make it look like they did great.
Yeah, also this puts in perspective how ridiculous it is to consider that we'd have spent 100,000 soldiers for Iberia.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Saying we're spending on destroying the Roman Empire and taking not exactly the largest city in the world, but certainly one with the most impressive walls in the world at the time.
Like, who cares about Iberia?
Yeah.
I can say that because I'm from there. It's fine.
Yes, exactly. It's okay if you say it. So Sulayman himself, unfortunately, was a bit unwell, so he couldn't lead this expedition. But he appointed his brother Maslama to take Constantinople. But we'll talk more about this next time. Incidentally, Maslama is an interesting figure.
Okay.
Because he is a brother of the Caliph, but he is born of a concubine. So he isn't really in the line of succession, but he's a very important member of the family.
Yeah.
Because an interesting thing about the Umayyads is that they tend to want their caliphs to be purely Arabs. So they don't want people who are, half Persian or half Greek or half Syrian or half Egyptian, whatever it is, because they have this concept that their family should be the most important element. So Maslama is an important general. He's very talented. He's very good. But he is excluded from line of succession, which is sort of why Sulayman feels comfortable sending him off, because, well, he's not legitimate enough to do this. It's like sending a eunuch. It's saying, well, you're never going to succeed anyway, so even if you do win glory, you're not going to betray me.
Yeah, nobody would support you because your claim is not strong enough. It would be too risky. Because we have established now that this is a hereditary thing.
But anyway, suffice it to say that this siege is going to last for a very long time, because Maslama was so focused on making sure that they take it and that they have all the resources that he built wooden houses for his soldiers outside the city, and he sowed the fields outside Constantinople so they wouldn't run out of food. So I say, no, we're staying here for at least a year, probably more. We're going to make Constantinople kneel before us.
Yeah, they basically moved in. They made a city around the city.
Yeah, they've just built a city of 100,000 soldiers outside the capital of the Roman Empire, and like, yep, we're going to stay here. And
could you imagine? That's a cool concept for like a fiction novel or like a world building where like you end up in a situation where like this started like this, like a city being sieged by another power, but then it just stayed that way.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And so you end up with like two nations, one encircling the other, but it just developed that way. And then you go like, I don't know, 2,000 years in the future, and that's just how it works.
Yeah, that'd be a fun concept. That'd be weird.
It would be difficult to find a reason why the balance stays, but like maybe it just,
Yeah, you have.
Maybe it's just better.
Forever wars. That's the thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is also maybe why the Romans had such inflated numbers for our forces, because it may just have been that there were 200,000 other peasants to cultivate the fields and people to build the houses, and just like.
Yeah, like literally they built a city outside the city
to help out. Yeah.
That's wow. But
yeah, so we can see overall that Sulayman, being part of the Yamani faction, did aim for the reduction of the powers of regional governors, but didn't imply a complete stop to expansion, since they've consolidated Iberia, and the siege of Constantinople was the largest military operation by a caliph since the Second Fitna. So he's saying we should slow down, but he's saying, okay, but we should probably just finish up a few things and just make sure that we have something stable. Like, it would be nice if the border went all the way to Constantinople and they can keep Europe. Let's just take Anatolia. It'd be more convenient for everyone.
Yeah. So he was like, it's not that I'm telling you to stop conquering. I just need you to focus somewhere else. Like, we're going to harness all of this.
Don't just do random things. Let's do it properly.
Like, oh, you want to conquer? Okay, I'll give you a challenge. Let's do it.
There were also great hopes for taking Constantinople, because Cyril, in an amazing coincidence, in episode 100, we are getting to the year 100.
Oh my god!
After the Hejra.
Oh wow! Awesome. Okay.
So basically, there were a bunch of messianic ideas saying, well, it's about to be the year 100. Is this when the end of the world happens and we just take Constantinople? And
right.
Jesus returns and the Mahdi comes and the world is over? Who knows? Because we are given numerous references to Sulayman as the desired Mahdi. which is a figure who will appear at the end times and rid the world of evil, which you may have heard of from the Dune films. That's what they call
I see.
Paul Atreides
Okay.
and that.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's just like a concept from Islamic eschatology that's just taken wholesale.
Wow. The Dune books keep surprising me. I need to finally read them, because the fact that the Atreides is the same Atreides as the cursed family from the Greek myth is just so funny to me.
Oh, yeah. Great stuff. But yeah, so Sulayman is displayed as this Mahdi and displayed as a rightly guided ruler who restores justice after oppression. And also began circulating that only a caliph with the name of a prophet could take Constantinople. And Sulayman is just the Arabic version of Solomon. You know, the king. And he was the first Umayyad being named after a prophet, so, this looks pretty propitious, so let's go for it.
Everything points towards success.
Yeah. Incidentally, this turned out to be true for Mehmet the Conqueror, for those who know who it is. If you don't know, that's fine. You'll find out in a few
Oh, come on.
50s of episodes.
You can't just
I
talk
won't
to the
spoil how the
audience
siege
and
goes,
pretend
Sarah.
that, like, I don't... Okay. Fine.
You'll find out. But yeah, as a counter to this messianic image of him, many sources depict Sulayman negatively. So they depict him as a glutton, a cruel man, and a lover of luxury. Although usually this comes with a typical story of him being redeemed after sermons by pious religious men.
I see.
So we mentioned at the start that he is greatly influenced by the scholar Raja ibn Haywa. And so generally the story is that, Sulayman was acting terribly and he was impious and terrible. But now
This
that
fixed
Raja
him.
comes up, he fixed him and he made him all nice and pure and understanding justice. But yeah, in general, the main topics that he's accused of is to enjoy soft fabrics very much.
How dare he?
How dare he, exactly. So much so that everyone in court wore his favorite fabric, and he demanded that his shroud should be made of it. He was also reported to be a lover of food, with some people saying that he would eat whole roast chickens with astonishing speed.
I mean, come on, guys. Don't you know someone like this? Like, this is not that
It's
out
a great
there.
time. Also, the most relatable bit is that he had baskets full of sweets next to his bed so that he would have something to eat if he woke up hungry. And it was just like, let's go
I
for
mean,
it.
if you're a rich, powerful
Honestly, living
man,
the
like,
dream.
this is fine. This is a fine vice to have. I will take it. This seems
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a non-issue
There's
to
worse
me.
things. One of the most unflattering stories that we get about him is that when he went on pilgrimage to Mecca, his tent was surrounded by lepers who were ringing their bells because they had bells attached to them so you could know that they're coming. And when Sulayman couldn't sleep because of this, he asked them to all be burned because if they had been good people, God would have punished them like this.
Man, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's just not...
It's pretty messed up. Yeah, not great.
I am so not a fan. I mean, obviously, right? But I'm so not a fan of the argument of you suffer because you deserve to suffer, or you are successful because you deserve to be successful, because that is so not how the world works. And I think it's
That is
such a bullshit
weird
argument.
And, well, who is there in his tent with him? Well, it's his cousin, Umar, who was previously unmentioned but will become important.
Oh, I see.
His cousin says, maybe don't.
Hey,
That
but
sounds
how
like a
about
bad
no?
argument.
How about no?
Maybe don't do that. And
What if you just ask them to go away?
you can just ask them nicely to go away,
Yeah.
and they will do that because you're the caliph. And so he did, and the lepers just left. They were like,
Yeah,
all right,
because why would you
problem solved.
jump to burning somebody alive straight away? That's ridiculous behavior.
Although, in Suleiman's defense, this
What?
is a source that really likes Umar and is in the tradition of saying, well, Suleiman was horrible, but Umar, who's so lovely and we love so
I see,
much.
I see.
Well, he managed to bring him on the right side. So maybe it's just imagination.
I
But
understand.
who knows? Maybe he did just get cranky in order to burn a bunch of people.
I see. I understand now.
Although, yeah, it looks like Suleiman, another aspect of him was that he had a keen sense of his own mortality, since many anecdotes have him lamenting how all the good things around him would eventually perish.
It is true, though. That is how it works, actually.
But well, speaking of his mortality, Serial, how do you think Sulayman dealt with the succession? Because, well, his father had only asked that his brother first and then him would succeed, and he hadn't left a detailed plan. So Sulayman is in charge of what he wants to do, basically.
We know what happened to the previous detailed plan. It was ignored.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just given a plan 2 steps down the line, and well, we've gotten through those 2 steps. So who do you think Sulayman is going to support for his heir?
I'm not sure. Does he have children?
He has a son called Ayub, yes.
Okay.
He has 2 sons, actually.
Does he like this son? Does he
Seems to like him well
consider
enough, yeah.
him capable?
Considers him quite capable, yeah.
Yeah, then sounds
He's
good.
young, but he'll learn. Yeah, well, in this ambiguity, he appointed his son Ayub as heir.
Hooray!
Now, Ayub went and did a bad thing, Sarah.
Oh no.
That messed up Sulayman's plans.
Oh no.
What do you think he did?
Die.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, like
He
all
died in
things do.
early 717, messing up Sulayman's succession plan,
Okay.
and he was exposed.
Does he have another son?
Well, he does, but the problem is that this son is on the expedition in Constantinople.
Right.
And Sulayman is feeling quite sick.
Oh no.
And he doesn't think he'll last long enough for his son to get back.
Oh no.
So,
You could still appoint
What do
him.
we do?
Well, yeah, but then they would leave the empire without somebody there.
Yeah,
for way
exactly.
too long.
well, the holy man Raja ibn Haywa, from Sulayman's time in Palestine, suggested, hey, your cousin Umar. Umar, the one they call Umar II. He should probably succeed you.
Well, that's a good thing to know at the time, right? That's a great
Yeah,
clue.
exactly.
Check in
When
your
you get a
family
numeral
if somebody
next to
has
your
a
name.
number attached.
Yeah, that's always a helpful thing to keep in mind.
That's so funny.
And well, he said Umar is a virtuous man.
Yeah.
As we saw from the story, he doesn't condone
Yes.
burning lepers.
Yes.
And he's the most morally deserving. And also, it doesn't hurt that he's a very strong Yamani supporter.
Burning Leopards is a great punk band name, actually.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Like leopard, like the animal, but
Yeah, of course. And so Umar is a strong Yamani supporter because essentially he is so fervently Yamani, even more than Sulayman, that he says, no, we should stop all expansions, we should stop any sort of invasions. We don't need to do this. We don't have the resources. We shouldn't do this.
Oh no, but we already started.
Yes. And actually, he's not fully convinced about this Iberia thing. He thinks everybody should just leave.
No!
Honestly, let's just go. It's not worth it.
He
Yeah.
doesn't know I have...
Iberia is the Britain of this world.
That's not true, though. Excuse you.
Yes. Iberia has something that's worth living in.
Yeah. Everyone comes over, everyone's
We're
like,
really
hey.
slagging off the British. But yeah,
Yeah. Listen, not
Next
everyone
time.
can live in Spain. I'm sorry, you guys.
exactly.
But this is so funny because, like, with the gift of foresight, I know that the Iberia thing, even though it was like not planned, is gonna be extremely lucrative and important
Mm-hmm.
and successful for a very long time. So, like, this is very funny to me to hear that he's like, nah, I'm not convinced. We should just leave.
Yeah. Well, this is Umar's main plan, and he's being pointed for the succession.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, as we mentioned, he's a cousin to Sulayman because he's the son of Abd al-Malik's brother who had governed Egypt and was originally meant to succeed Abd al-Malik.
Uh-huh.
So maybe this was also a way of saying, no hard feelings, we're still keeping this in the family, you're clearly the most capable person around, so fine, you're close enough family that we can make you succeed. Also, Umar was just in general a capable man by all accounts, and he was worthy of the position, and he was generally older than all of Sulayman's brothers. So there was the idea that, yes, when he dies,
Yeah.
the brother's succession can continue.
Yes. Just an interstitial.
Yeah.
And also, everyone seems to like him, at least in the sources. Everyone
Yeah, the
seems
sources seem
to
to love
this
him.
guy. So
Actually, we'll find out more next time, but Umar is, by many sources, considered to be the only good Umayyad. Like, some sources really hate the Umayyads, and some sources are like, no, but actually Umar, honestly, he was actually legit. Some people go so far as to compare him to the Rashidun caliphs, like Ali, Uthman, Umar, and Abu Bakr. Some say, like, no. If there was another guy after them, Umar the second, yeah, he
wow.
deserved it.
Okay, you're selling him. You're really,
The sources really like him.
I am so interested for our next episode.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, however, to avoid any enmity with Sulayman's brothers, Sulayman says, okay, we've been doing this appointing 2 successors at a time thing. Let's do that as well. I'll say Umar II will succeed, but then my brother Yazid II will succeed him.
So you have that, and
we
it's
can just
not
bounce it back and forth between sides of the
and
family
it won't be Umar's
angry
decision then on how the succession should
Yeah, exactly.
work.
And also, since Al-Walid I did such a good job of just following his father's example, there's already the precedent saying, well, we don't just appoint heirs for no reason, we just do it if there wasn't a plan before, and now there is a plan. And Umar seems like a virtuous guy, he's not going to go and change it. So Sulayman was then in the north of Syria, where the planning for the Roman campaign was ongoing.
Makes sense.
When he died on the 24th of September, 717.
Oh.
And most sources I've read state that a week before dying, he looked at himself in the mirror and said, I am a youthful king.
Oh!
And despite this, he died of plague.
Yeah, I mean, plague doesn't care about your age that much. I mean, it can be worse if you're older, but like, plague is plague.
Yeah, and I mean, the man was 42, so it wasn't exactly he's dying in his late 90s.
No, yeah.
After a long and full life.
He could have lived longer. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So there we go, Serial. That is the life of Sulayman ibn Abd al-Malik. What did you think of
This was
him?
very interesting, actually. I quite enjoyed it.
This was a fun
I guess we didn't get to see that much. Like, there was a lot to talk about because, like, all of the conquering and calling back people and the siege of Constantinople. What? The siege of Constantinople. Nah? What? My brain. The siege of Constantinople. Istanbul. Anyway. So, like, a lot happened, but at the same time, not enough happened, if that makes sense. Like, we had a lot of logistics, but I don't think we had as much about him and his life and his personality, if that makes sense. We have what people say about him, right? But yeah, but it makes sense because if he died at 42, it's not like he lived into his 80s.
I won't spoil how long he reigned, but it wasn't decades.
No. Yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, no, this makes sense. It was super fun and interesting. I like this episode.
Happy to hear that. So yes, Sarah, are you ready to wrap up the episode by rating him?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. Our first category is final moments. How interesting was his death? He died of plague in his early 40s. It wasn't terribly exciting. We don't even know what the plague was. It was just something.
It's whatever.
I feel like it might be worth a point because we know what happened to him, but it's not really dramatic or exciting in any way. I wouldn't tell anyone.
1 point because I'm feeling generous.
Yeah. With a 1 and a 1, he gets a 1 out of 10 for final moments.
That he does.
Our next category is battle hardness. How good was he at war and fighting?
Extremely good, apparently. I mean, I don't know if he did things like by his own hand. But when you talked about the siege of Constantinople being one of the biggest military operations, I was like, oh, this is going into our ranking for sure.
So personally, we don't really get many reports of him fighting. He doesn't sound like a warrior. He can't join the expedition to Constantinople because he's unwell, so he sends his brother. So overall, personally, there isn't much. On a more general level, so what happens? Well, he conquers the areas of Tabaristan and Gorgan in the north of Iran, so he just mops up that area and makes sure it's taken care of. He finishes the conquest of Iberia, except for Asturias. So he does lose the Battle of Covadonga, as we saw.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Also begrudgingly finishes the conquest
exactly.
of Iberia. Like, he doesn't want to. And so one of his generals is like, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't really give the order. It was just the governor before leaving was like, hey, really quick, conquer this because it'll make me look good. Okay, bye. So he does conquer the rest of Iberia. It was in a shambles after falling, so it was clearly just shattered and just chomping up different pieces. And then finally, the main military expedition he's remembered for is the Siege of Constantinople, where it was the largest military expedition ever in the Umayyad Caliphate. He's gathering all the resources of the empire to try and conquer this city and end the Roman Empire once and for all. He's built a city around Constantinople to supply his soldiers so that this will last. it's a really big expedition, but unfortunately for him, he dies before he sees it completed, so he doesn't know if it succeeds or not, and we'll find out in the next episode how it goes, but...
Tune in next week for our next episode.
Yes. But he doesn't really know how it goes. Impressive expedition.
Sure.
No tangible results to start with.
Yeah. Tough.
So how would you rate that? I feel like it's
not as great as it could have been.
Yeah, he's not a great warrior, I'd say. I think he is impressive. Like, he does a reasonably good job, but it's mostly mopping up at the borders and then the Constantinople expedition.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't live long enough to see how it ends.
Eh.
So how would you rate that? Where do you think that stands?
I always forget about our standards. I don't know.
For example, we gave Al-Walid the First a 9 last time. We both gave him a 9. Because, well, he conquered Iberia, conquered
it was the whole thing.
Africa, conquered the steppe, conquered bits of India. He did a great job in general and just was very impressive overall. We gave, as usual, Alexander the Great 10. We gave Muawiyah a 6, for example, when he sort of won the first fitna and he helped the expansion of the Caliphate at the start. He managed to have a siege of Constantinople, which was broadly successful.
Yes.
And then if we go down to lower grades, Yazid the First, for example, got a 3 because he's not very good. He won a few battles against some people, and he did reasonably well militarily at the start of the second fitna, but ultimately wasn't successful.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm starting with a 5 and then moving from there. Because the thing is that he's not working hard for these things.
Yeah.
He is just saying, oh, we need to mop up this bit, and oh, I guess you conquered a bit more of Iberia on your own. Sure, I suppose we'll keep it. And then he's more carefully planning the Constantinople expedition, but he doesn't see the results.
If I'm being honest with you, my gut feeling was a 5. So when you said that, I'm like, I don't know if I would go higher than that, actually.
Honestly, I think I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think he is...
Sold.
Yeah, more than a 5. Okay, so with a 5 and a 5, he gets a 10 out of 20 for battle hardness. Our next category is scheminess. How good was he at plots and manipulations? It looks like he does a bit of that as a prince. So during his brother's reign as caliph, he does house some enemies of Al-Hajjaj and just makes a big amount of noise saying, oh, well, this isn't technically treason. I guess it's fine. So that's a bit of scheminess. And then as a caliph, he doesn't really scheme very much. Like, you can maybe give him a fraction of a point, like a rounding up, because he does call a bunch of governors back and then imprisons them afterwards. So it's...
But I guess it was a bit deceitful. Because otherwise they wouldn't have come.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like...
And he couldn't have sent somebody just to pick them up. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit, but then overall he's not terribly schemy. Like, he just does a fine, normal job, nothing much. I'm honestly floating between a 1 and a 2 because that's broadly what I get out of him.
I think a 1 makes sense. Because if we're calling the governors back, sure, but like, how else would you have done that, right?
No,
I don't think that 2 is necessary. It's not really his vibe, you know? It's not. He works above table.
No, honestly, I agree. So with a 1 and a 1, he gets a 2 out of 20 for schemes. Our next category is shock factor. How shocking was this man?
A little bit.
A tiny bit. It depends on which sources you believe. So, first of all, he was housing enemies of the caliph, or enemies of a friend of a caliph, so fine. That's mildly treasonous.
You know.
It's treason light. But then we have the bit where he does essentially stop the expansion of the empire, which a lot of people... He essentially replaces a lot of the leadership of the empire to change policy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's relatively shocking. He then appoints somebody who isn't his son as heir. I mean, he appoints his son first, but then he appoints another member of the family. I don't know if you want to consider that. It's just a rounding up area. And then I'd say the main things are that he is seen to be a little bit shocking in his behavior. So he's seen to be a lover of luxury and food. And also there is the one story about wanting to set fire to some lepers.
I was gonna say, you have to mention that. You have to.
Again, the point of the story is to say, oh, look how great Umar is. Isn't he brilliant? He could soothe the fiery soul
we have
of
had a
Sulayman.
few stories about Suleiman just being terrible, hot-headed, opulent, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're all like from the same sources is like, yeah, I mean, that is a shocking thing that you learn about him, but also like, is it even true? And
I mean, at the same time, you have sources saying, oh, well, he's the one who's going to bring about the end times.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is
yeah.
the Mahdi that we have been expecting. It's him at last.
I feel like he deserves some points for that, you know?
Yeah, I feel fair enough. I feel like it's worth to have this sort of millenary thing. He's the one who's lucky enough to be there 100 years after the Hijra. And that's just his reign.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's not one of the highest shock factors I've ever seen, but it deserves something. I'd say 1 for the treason light, 1 for the decapitating the government, 1 for the leper story,
Yes.
and 1 for the Mahdi
I agree.
stuff. So 4.
4. Let's
Happy
do
with
it.
a 4 as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just like his father. So with a 4 out of 4, he gets an 8 out of 20 for shock factor. Our next category is Aaron Shine. How good was he for the Empire in general and Iran in particular? So on the Iran side, he conquers the last independent bit of Iran that was still Zoroastrian. So he takes over Tabaristan and Gorgan. He just takes it for himself. It's now all in the Caliphate.
Mm-hmm.
Is that positive or is that negative? I guess it depends. Because, yes, he is suppressing the traditional Iranian religion by conquering the last independent states.
Mhm.
These were the last vestiges of the old Sassanid Empire. And
True.
he's just saying, nope, that's it, you're done. Although, in his defense, these states will sort of exist in some form for another 500 years.
Okay.
Because he's conquering them, but they're still semi-independent and they can still, he's basically conquering them by saying, okay, we'll take this prince who converted to Islam and we'll put him in charge of this kingdom
Yeah.
and he'll pay us tribute and it'll be fine. And
Yeah, but
you
the
know,
people
it's
are
not
still doing whatever
just go and
they were
eradicate
doing.
everyone. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So these
yeah.
areas will still remain Zoroastrian for a while.
Right.
So,
Eh.
is that good or is that bad? I don't know. I feel like overall it's kind of morally neutral.
Yeah, same.
I would say, for how they're doing. Like, on the bright side, they're now part of the empire. They don't have to hide in the mountains and fight
Yeah.
off the caliphate. They can enjoy the golden age. That's nice. But otherwise, you never know. That's the Iran bit. He then is generally doing some positive sides for the empire. He was recalling this governor who had committed some atrocities in the east in al-Walid's name, so that's pretty good. That's positive. He's also trying to stop the empire from expanding needlessly because it's going well enough.
Too much of a good thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he does expand the empire by sort of finishing up the conquest of Iberia. Yes, he's stopped, but is it really that serious? It's fine.
Yeah.
And then he sort of starts up this great expedition against the Romans, which, if successful, would be brilliant.
Yeah.
But
We will see,
we don't know that yet.
I guess.
And overall, as for reforms, he seems to just want to stabilize the caliphate and stop this expansion and just want to consolidate what we have. We don't really get much about his specific policies,
Mm-hmm.
but he does reasonably well. He also apparently did a great job governing Palestine as a prince,
Yeah, nice.
so that was pretty good for him. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'm not going like 9s or 10s,
No.
but I could be convinced.
But overall, I think the Empire is doing the same or better than before. Because less risk
Yeah,
of
exactly.
falling apart. Things are being like consolidated and sort of like put together.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely something.
In my head, my baseline is a
Yes.
7.
Oh,
I could
okay.
be convinced up or down.
Yeah, it was
What
like
were you
maybe a
thinking, a
6 or yeah. I will not do it.
Mostly, I'm thinking a 7 because it's going well. He's taking new lands.
Yeah.
He's reforming the administration.
Yeah.
Not doing much else, but it's pretty
No,
good.
that sounds good. I'm going to join you at a 7.
Very nice.
I'm convinced. Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
he's not starting any civil wars, which is helpful.
Yeah, no, everything's good.
Yeah, so with a 7 and a 7, he gets a 14 out of 20 for Aaron Shine, making him the 4th highest Aaron Shine for the new series, which is quite impressive. The Marwanid Umayyad Caliphate has done really well because we had a 17, an 18, and a 14 as the last 3 episodes. So, nice job. Good stuff. Our next category is Face of Faces. What do you think this man looked like?
Well,
And, well, we don't have a description, Serial. I am sorry, so feel free to let your imagination go where it needs be.
well, that's never easy. Because now I have too much leeway.
You can get a vibe. He's a man who likes chicken and soft fabrics.
Yeah.
Okay, so Serial has finished their drawing. Let me pick it up and I'll describe it to you. Oh, he seems really nice. Actually, I like the vibe.
Just the guy, yeah.
He seems like a chill guy. I like him. So, yeah, you
I
can
wonder.
see Sulayman, yes, in black and white there. He is there. You can see him from the shoulders up. He has a nice, curly, like, flowy, soft-looking beard. I feel like it's well-conditioned. And, yeah, he has a nice turban over there, over his head, covering him, and he's looking off to the side, trying to see if maybe what's going on in Iberia. Wait, what do you mean we conquered a new country? What do you mean we own Portugal now?
Yeah.
I thought I told you to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just seems really nice. Honestly, he seems like a chill guy. I like him. But yeah, so thank you, Sarah, for your lovely drawing. If
welcome.
anybody would like to see it, then you could go to our Discord if you're a patron, to the episode page in the description, or on our website in Sarah's portrait gallery.
Yay.
Now, Sarah, would you like to know what he looks like?
Sure. You didn't give me nothing, so...
Nope. Well, unfortunately, I'm still going to give you nothing because we only have coins with verses from the Quran or the Shahada on them.
Okay.
Because this is a time period that is not kind to us in imagery. So,
I guess.
yeah, sorry about that.
I guess we're too used to...
Yeah, I think we're too used to good things, but it will get better
I was gonna say we're too used to
in a
imagery,
while. Yeah, exactly.
and maybe it's not as important.
No, exactly. It's just nice to get to have you're making portraits of him.
Yeah.
No one else has, apparently, so good. But yeah, so with a 0 and a 0, he gets a 0 to 5 for Face of Faces.
All right.
Our next category is lengthiness. For how long do you think this man reigned?
5 years.
Not that much, Sarah. He reigned for only 2
What?
years.
He did all of this in 2
He
years?
barely had time to do anything, yes.
That's ridiculous. That's so cool. What the heck?
Yeah, the man tried. The man did a good job, but yeah, just 2 years. So yeah, he ruled from 715 to 717, which is 2 years divided by 10. That's a total of 0.2 out of 5 for lengthiness.
Wow.
Which brings us to the final score, which is a grand total of 35.2 out of 100, placing him just 0.1 above Yazid the First and below Al-Walid the First, his brother. So we thought he was less exciting, but he still did quite a good job overall.
Yeah.
But that still makes him third from last in these last rulers. But to be fair, we've had a bunch of very interesting rulers with a bunch of sources. There we are. But that brings us to the final question, which is to say, Serial, is he consolidating enough? Is he loving chickens enough? Is he trying to take Constantinople enough to be a Shahanshah? Or is he just a Shahanah?
Well, I don't know if he loved chickens or he loved eating chicken. Different things.
Well, you can do both.
Um,
Yeah, so what do you think,
I
Sarah?
don't
Do you think he
know.
fits? Because we gave it to his brother,
yeah.
but his brother was the one who started the Golden
Yeah.
Age, who first went into Iberia, who did a bunch of conquests and did a bunch of reforms and stabilized the empire. In Sulayman's defense, he didn't have much time to do this,
No.
but, well,
And I'm kind
Maybe
of
it's
on the
just not
fence because I
worth
did
it.
have a lot of fun this episode.
it was a fun. I did enjoy
Yes,
spending time
yes.
with him, but the question is, do you think he's worthy to be remembered with the other ones? Basically, the usual thing is, would you just go up to somebody and say, oh, hey, I'm interested in the caliphate. Who would you suggest? Would you say, oh, Sulayman's great. Sulayman's really
I'd
fun.
probably,
Or
I'd
would you
probably
say,
say his brother.
He's one of
Yeah.
the lesser ones, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, he's not one of the no. He's not one of the lesser ones.
I mean,
But it's not-
I guess that's the argument.
He's not that crucial.
Yeah, I'm basically...
Why are you so binary about
If-
it? Stop it.
Because it's a binary selection serial.
No.
We can't say he's a Shahan meh. He's halfway through.
No, I meant in the sense of like the fact that he's not a Shahanshah doesn't mean that he's like a lesser one.
Oh no, but is he the sort of person where, like, if you're writing a history of this period, would you say, oh no, you definitely have to cover Sulayman, otherwise you're missing some gold there? Or are you saying, yeah, and then there was al-Walid, and then his brother reigned for 2 years, and then there was Umar, and we'll see if Umar is worth talking about.
I see. Well, interesting that you would choose to do that.
Yeah. So, I feel like I like Sulayman.
Yeah.
I think he is... Basically, I feel conflicted about not giving it to him, but I think ultimately I don't think he deserves it.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Suleiman? You don't deserve it. Crazy.
Poor man. I mean, if he'd lived longer, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
As with most people. But yeah, so sorry, Sulayman. You are a Shahanah. You can head off into the desert and meet Abdullah ibn al-Zubayr and tell him, hey, yeah, no, the Umayyads are still a thing, and, not all of them are great, but they're still doing a pretty good job. Like, these Umayyads have done the best job out of any caliph except Muawiyah, who was also an Umayyad. So, frankly, we're really Team Umayyad in this house.
Yeah, I guess.
Apparently. But yeah.
Apparently.
So there we go. Thank you for listening. We hope you had a lovely time with Sulayman ibn Abd al-Malik. And we hope you'll join us next time for Umar II. Will he live up to the hype? A lot of people think he's incredible and he's great and he's the only good Umayyad.
I mean, at this point, you sold him to me so hard. I'm bound to be disappointed.
Who knows? We'll have to find out what that's like, so please tune in. In the meantime, if you'd like to support us, there are many ways to do that. One way is to join our Patreon with new patrons Jeff and Steven Weinberg.
Not the famous Jeff? Incredible.
It just says Jeff Serial. It might be the Jeff. Who knows?
The Jeff.
But yeah, if you join our Patreon, you can have a bunch of extra episodes about the world around the Caliphate and the Sassanids and all our previous rulers. There's like 24 backup episodes that you can listen to. So if you feel like you're missing us, there is a bunch of backlog to go through there. And now we've just started a new miniseries. So I think next week we'll be releasing the first episode, which is on the apex of the Tang Dynasty. So are you wondering why we're not invading the East and going to China? Well, it's because they're having their own golden age. There's Emperor Gaozong, there is Emperor Xuanzong, but most importantly of all, there is Wu Zetian, the only woman to ever rule China.
Heck yeah.
So, tune in. That'll be fun. If instead you'd rather not support us monetarily, that's fine, but we'd appreciate if you could give us a review on your podcast app of choice so people know that we're around, we're doing a second season, we're doing something different from before, but still along the same line, and that you enjoy us, or just tell people that you know that are interested in history, hey, this could be up your alley. That'd be fun. And yeah, in that case, that's all we had to say. But in that case, without any further ado, we hope you have a lovely week, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.